Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Arundhati Ramnan and these are the headlines that we're tracking for you this evening. Sensex and Nifty gained for the second straight day. Nifty reclaims 26,000, but all sectoral indices end in the red for the week, barring the metal index. Rupee hits a fresh record low of 90.56 to the dollar, but sees a swift recovery. Dealers say the recovery could be attributed to dollar selling by exporters and not just RBI support. Ambassador to India says the telephonic conversation between Prime Minister Modi and President Trump was a great call between two friends. Says Modi reiterated his support for Trump's efforts to bring peace to Ukraine. The Indian government says both leaders reviewed progress in the strategic partnership and agreed to work closely to address shared challenges and advance common interests. Aviation regulator sacks 4 flight inspectors responsible for oversight of IndiGo after the mass cancellation of flights. Airline CEO Peter Elber is set to be quizzed by the 4-member panel formed to identify the root causes behind the cancellations. India's most profitable and second largest asset management company is going public. The 10,600 crore rupee ICICI Prudential AMC IPO opens for subscription. The company is eyeing a valuation of $12 billion. Novo Nordisk launches Ozempic, its popular weight loss and diabetes drug in India, prices the weekly dosages at 2,200 rupees and upwards. Novo Nordisk management tells CNBC-TV18 that Ozempic clinical trials have not shown a causal relationship in the product and mental health challenges. Government rejects global air quality benchmarks, tells Parliament India sets its own air quality standards. Opposition leader Rahul Gandhi calls for a debate on air pollution, and the government agrees in a rare moment of consensus in Parliament. Disney invests $1 billion into ChatGPT maker OpenAI and licenses its characters for AI-generated short videos and images for 3 years. OpenAI will compensate Disney for using its characters, but the financial terms have not been disclosed. Those were the headlines that we're tracking for you this evening. But first up on the show today, the government has released the retail inflation numbers for November. The consumer price index has come in at 0.71%, which is marginally higher than last month. Lata Venkatesh joins us now with the details. Lata?
Yes, the inflation number has come in almost as expected. Our poll said 0.79%, close to 0.8, and it's come in at 0.71. Okay, 8 basis points below our average, but this is entirely in line with expectations. The food inflation has come in bang in line with our expectation. It's come in, I think, at minus 3.5%, and that is exactly what our poll also forecast, a minus 3.5%. But we have to put it in context. You have to look at the year-ago numbers. The year-ago food inflation number was a tall 9%. So it's clearly the base that is impacting the inflation number. Otherwise, if you looked at the month-on-month performance, I would have expected actually a fall in several food prices a little more severely. It's not. See, in winter, you normally have this kharif harvest coming in. The vegetable prices start falling because winter is the month for a lot of the reddest of carrots, for peas. It's usually the vegetables and fruit season. As well, the festival season is over. This time, Diwali was in October. So the bulk of demand for food, cereals, pulses, sugar, all that is actually done by October. But for that, you're not seeing a very big fall in some of the areas where you will expect to see. For instance, vegetables. Vegetable prices have come in month on month, actually about, say about 4 basis points higher, or a little more, 4 basis points higher. You would have expected it month on month to be lower. But this doesn't take away from the fact that year on year it is much lower. It is 22% lower in year on year terms, vegetable prices, simply because last year, October, November, we were still pricing onions at 100 rupees and tomatoes at 100 rupees. There was a bad monsoon problem, unusually heavy in October, which led to higher prices of potatoes, tomatoes and onions last year. And that impact is making food prices look very low in the current year. Only with respect to vegetables. With respect to other items like cereals, pulses, they are really low, even by historical standards, simply because this is two good harvests coming in a row. So whether you look at cereals or whether you look at pulses, the month-on-month inflation is hardly there. It's almost the same price in November as it was in October. And the inflation levels for all those items has been like meager, 0.1 for cereals, year-on-year inflation. Likewise, for pulses, it is actually down 16%, 15.86 to be precise. Spices have been falling for a goodish bit. I'm only picking up items which are very heavy in the food index, namely cereals and pulses, and vegetables as well, where the fall is 22%. Among, core inflation items, which is really services items, there you are seeing a bit of a rise in what you call personal care and effects. That personal care, it's a services item, but what is the element over there? Gold. Gold gets counted over there, and therefore there is a 24% rise only in that item. But otherwise, we are seeing a genuinely benign inflation number in line with expectations, and therefore, well, from the Reserve Bank, nothing much. I guess they've already factored this low inflation into their last policy.
All right, so numbers in line with expectations. Thank you so much for those details, Lata. Moving on to the day's market action. Market gained for the second straight session, with Nifty ending above that 26,200 mark. Mid-cap index outperformed and the market breadth favored the advances. All sectoral indices closed higher in trade, with metal and realty stocks leading the pack. For the week, however, the Lal Street ended lower and all major indices closed in the red. Barring metal, all sectoral indices closed in the red, with defense and PSU bank stocks leading the decline. From equities to the currency market, Rupee hit a fresh low of 90.56 to the dollar, but recovered all losses soon after. Dealers attributed the fall to oil companies buying dollars and the recovery to selling by exporters. The rupee is the worst performing currency in Asia so far. Sergio Gore, the US ambassador to India, has said that the telephonic conversation between Prime Minister Modi and President Trump was a great call between two friends. The diplomat also said that Modi reiterated his support for Trump's efforts to bring peace to Ukraine in a social media post. Prime Minister Modi had also posted about the conversation on social media X. The Indian government said that both leaders reviewed progress in the strategic partnership and agreed to work closely to address shared challenges and advance common interests. The phone call between Modi and Trump was their first since Diwali. Remember, a delegation from the US is in Delhi for trade talks. Speaking at an event yesterday, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal said that US should sign on the dotted line if it is happy with India's offer. This was in response to a comment made by top US trade envoy Jameson Greer, who had called offers from India the best US has received so far. Remember, it has been more than 3 months since the Trump administration imposed 50% tariffs on India. This includes an additional penalty of 25% tariff for buying Russian oil.
US is saying that they've got the best deal yet. Have you offered them anything that they are so happy about?
Well, that only the USTR can answer. His happiness is very much welcome, and I do believe that if they are very happy, they should be signing on the dotted line. In the past, I think 5 rounds have happened. The current visit is not a negotiating round. Current visit is a new deputy USTR who has joined about 3 months ago. It's his first visit to India. We're getting to know each other. He's at the Commerce Secretary level, Vice Minister, so they're all getting to know each other well. He met me also. We had very good substantive discussions.
The assumption is that a trade deal will be beneficial for Indian exports only when there will be addressal of both 25% tariffs, not only the one which is a trade tariff which has been imposed on trade in lieu of the lack of trade deal, but also the other 25% tariff which have been imposed for some other geopolitical reasons. Until unless both are addressed together, it will not mean a meaningful deal for India.
The US Senate passed a mega dollar defense policy bill approving a $901 billion annual military spend. The approved defense spending is nearly $8 billion more than President Donald Trump's earlier requested this year. The bill will now advance to the Senate for approval. The Trump administration has also approved a $686 million defense upgrade package for Pakistan. The deal involves defense equipment and upgrading the Pakistani F-16 fighter jets to extend their life till 2040. The Directorate General of Civil Aviation has sacked 4 flight operation inspectors as part of its investigation into IndiGo's widespread flight cancellations. The inspectors were responsible for monitoring the airline's operational compliance. The aviation regulator has summoned IndiGo CEO Peter Elbers once again. Shivani Bazaz joins us now with all of the latest updates. Shivani?
Well, yes, the IndiGo crisis has now triggered its most serious regulatory fallout yet. In a late evening order, the DGCA has removed 4 of its own flight operations inspectors with immediate effect. These are the officials who directly oversee airline operations, pilot checks and cockpit level compliance, and their sudden exit signals that the regulator is now cleaning up internally even as it tightens scrutiny on IndiGo. The DGCA also named these 4 inspectors, naming Rishi Raj Chatterjee, Seema Jhamnani, and also Anil Kumar Pokharial among the 4 who have been sacked. Now, all 4 have been told to leave the DGCA roles right away and return to their parent organizations. Their official access, email and e-office IDs are also being deactivated. FOIs, remember, are typically hired on contract, so relieving them is effectively the DGCA's way of terminating their engagement. But removing 4 inspectors at once, including a deputy CFOI, is extremely rare. It shows that the regulator is responding with strong corrective actions, not just externally on the airlines, but also internally. Also, remember that an important meeting today at the DGCA among the CEO of IndiGo, Peter Elbers, and the 4-membered newly formed committee by the DGCA. So all eyes on that now. Back to you.
So all eyes on that. Thank you for those details, Shivani. But on that note, it is time for us to head into a short break. Coming up next, Novo Nordisk launches Ozempic, its popular weight loss and diabetes drug in India. Prices the weekly dosages at 2,200 rupees and upwards. Details when we come back. Stay tuned.
$26 years.
Welcome back. You're still with us on Business 360. India's most profitable and second largest asset management company is going public. The 10,600 crore rupee ICICI Prudential AMC IPO has opened for subscription. The issue was subscribed 47% as of 4 p.m., driven largely by qualified institutional buyers. The company is eyeing a valuation of $12 billion. Union Cabinet has approved the Insurance Amendment Bill, which allows 100% foreign direct investment into the insurance sector. The government is expected to introduce the Insurance Amendment Bill in Parliament soon. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman also announced the proposal to raise FDI limit in insurance from 74% in her budget speech in February this year. Novo Nordisk has launched its popular weight loss and diabetes drug Ozempic in India. The pharma giant has priced the weekly dosages at 2,200 rupees and upwards. Speaking to CNBC-TV18, Novo Nordisk management said that Ozempic clinical trials have not shown a causal relationship in the product and mental health challenges.
We are launching this semaglutide in 3 strength, 0.25, 0.5 and 1 milligram for the benefit of type 2 diabetes patient. So it is very clear that the 3 strength which we are launching is for diabetes, and till 2.4 milligram which we have launched is for obesity.
Australia has issued a new safety warning against weight loss drugs because there is concern about mental health challenges, such as even suicidal attempts, rising with the use of these weight loss drugs. Your comment?
We have done many of the clinical trials across, and you know, any of the medications which gets launched, whether it is in the US, Europe, Australia or India, it gets launched with a very critical review by the regulator, and same is the case in India. And in all those reviews, we have not seen any kind of a causal relationship, and also in our clinical trial and observational use, we have not seen a causal relationship between the product and these kind of a tendency, but we remain watchful.
Global tech giant Microsoft is joining hands with the Maharashtra government to fight cybercrime. All 1,100 police stations in the state will be equipped with a Microsoft AI tool to fight cybercrime. Currently, only 23 police stations in Nagpur are using it. The AI system speeds up investigations and helps organize case files and guides officers through each step.
Now, one of the chances I had again was to meet with the team that built this new agentic system called the Maha Crime OS. So this was sponsored by the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, who is here with us. And
the government told the parliament today that it will set its own standards to track air pollution in the country. The response comes weeks after concerns over air quality in Delhi and several other cities. In a written reply in the Rajya Sabha, the Minister of State for Environment, Kirti Vardhan Singh, said that global air quality rankings are cited by various organizations and are not conducted by any official authority. He added that the World Health Organization's air quality norms serve only as advisory values and are not binding standards. He added that countries prepare their own air quality standards based on geography, background levels, and other factors. This statement comes months after a report compiled by IQ Air suggested that India failed to meet the World Trade Organization's air quality standards. As per the report, 13 of the world's top 20 most polluted cities are in India. Meanwhile, leader of opposition and Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has called for an urgent debate on the worsening air pollution. The centre has agreed to conduct the discussion. Gandhi added that the government must present clear national plan to tackle pollution.
Millions of children are getting lung disease. Their future is being destroyed. People are getting cancer. Older people are struggling to breathe. I think a good idea would be that we frame the discussion not on us saying what you have not done and not on you saying what we have not done, but simply saying that what are we going to do for the people in India in the future.
And in international news, more than 10 have died in the Gaza Strip in the last 24 hours after houses, walls and tents collapsed as Storm Byron hit the enclave. At least 12 buildings have collapsed since the heavy rainfall and flooding began. Tents and other winter supplies remain blocked at the border as Israel continues to restrict the flow of aid into the enclave. Russia said Ukraine launched a major aerial attack with at least 287 drones downed over Moscow and many other cities. This as Russian President Putin claimed that the country's forces have taken control of a town in eastern Ukraine. However, Ukraine's military disputed the claim, saying it remained in control of the town. Moscow has also said that it has captured a village in Ukraine's eastern Kharkiv region. Fighting between Thailand and Cambodia has entered the fifth day. Thai forces have reportedly carried out fresh attacks on 3 Cambodian provinces. Cambodia has also accused Thai military of continued strikes. Thailand's Prime Minister has confirmed that he is scheduled to speak with US President Donald Trump. No new casualties were reported following the renewed fighting. The Trump administration has imposed fresh sanctions on 6 more ships after claiming that these tankers are carrying Venezuelan oil. This comes a day after seizing a tanker from Venezuela off the country's coast. Sanctions have also been placed on some of Venezuelan President Maduro's relatives and affiliated businesses. And with that, it is a wrap on this edition of Business 360. More news and updates continue right here on CNBC-TV18.
"26 years of